Hey everyone, this is David and Max coming at you with another dev blog slash vlog. This week we are talking about our journey as a dynamic duo of part-time indie developers. This is part 3 of 3, the final one. We originally were going to do this is one whole, but we just got so into it that we're going to have to split it up into a couple of parts. So what are some of those artist struggles you've been having?
Artist struggles, man. I mean, really, it's one the biggest one, and I think the most obvious is that I literally have to create all of the assets and all of the textures, and it can be kind of overwhelming, especially when you. I mean, we originally, when we had designed this game, it was going to be way simpler than what it was, and through being overly ambitious and just wanting to make this game like the most bad thing you could possibly play, developed by two people, it just grew and grew until it's the size that it is now. And I'm kind of glad that we're like, hey, I don't think we should add any more. Like, this is what we're gonna do, and go from there. So that was really like one of the main things. And I think this can also kind of be said for you for the next one, is just having, like, if you run into a problem, like, there's nobody to go to. Like, you don't have an art lead that's been doing it for 30 40 plus years who can be like, oh yeah, I've actually run into that problem, so what you're going to do is this and this. There's none of that. Being the only one on the team means that you got to figure it out, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through forums, whether it's through asking other friends, other art friends, or reaching out to the community. But you got to find, you got to bring the certainty to the uncertainty, and that's the one. Like, sometimes, I'm making it sound all grandiose and being like, yeah, you can do it, but it traps you sometimes. Sometimes you're just like, oh, and it can get kind of discouraging. And then the last one is for the struggles is really time management, man. It's something that I've struggled with all my life, not just in game design, just being able to manage time. It's like, I really envy those people who are like on it all the time. Like, they're just like, go, I'm going to do this, knock this and this out. Like, I'm just like, teach me your ways.
Right.
It's, because time management and organization is something that game design organization, not so much a struggle with. More organization with real life is kind of a pain. But man, it's those really are skills. Like, mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. Like, I feel like I've come a long way since college with all that, and I still feel like I'm just on the cusp of like actually understanding how to do it properly.
We've been kind of going through some struggles, but like, what are some exciting, awesome things? It was like triumphs.
Oh, I mean, the flip side to, like, it's basically just the flip side of all of the ones that I said. I mean, so the struggle is that I have to create every single asset, every single texture. But the awesome part is that I get to do all that stuff. So it's all of my stuff. It's nobody else's. You're not just gonna be like, oh, hey, I worked on this little part of the game. No, like, I created everything in the game, which is something that's like really, really cool. I think personally. And then because of that, me modeling and texturing everything, I kind of get to add my own like flavor and vibe to the environments that you see. Like, it's not like a little bit of this person's idea and a little bit of that person's idea. It's like, it's all made and comes from like my brain, and obviously like some of yours too, because you definitely helped with the art style and all that. But it's just nice to be able to kind of not have to like bicker with people about like, oh man, I really think you shouldn't like have that be like red, or like, I really think like it should be like, maybe you should design it this way instead of that way. And like, most of the time that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm a very open-minded person and I love new ideas, but sometimes it's nice just to be able to like, hey, I like this, I'm gonna do this.
Creative freedom.
Oh yeah. And then really just the environments, just have like this flow to them, and I think they flow better because it's from one one single mind. They go better, because I feel like in some games you can just and I know that that's what most game designers and artists try to strive not to have, is there's like irregularities in some of the environments. Like some environments look better than others, some don't look like all in unison. And I think with having one person, like it's kind of hard not to make it in unison because it's all the same thing, which is a really big plus for me.
Absolutely.
So what about you? What are, the programming? So let's start off with some of the programming highs and nightmares. Give us your take on the programming side of things.
So this is gonna sound super duper nerdy, but naming convention uniformity, like
nerd.
all of the assets, blueprints, everything has like the proper naming conventions, and I'm like, yay.
Dude, I feel that though. There's something about it being like, oh man, that's really clean. Like you have a really clean filing system, of how you like do everything. Everything's like where it should be, and I feel like we do a really good job of that. Like every once in a while, I'll mess up and I'll have something, but you'll be like, hey, can you like rename that to this? And I'll be like, 100%, and it just goes kind of back to what we
yeah, well,
oh
we
man,
were
I just
about earlier.
lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, yeah. It goes back to the helping each other understand each other's side of the development process.
Yes.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and another thing that's also nerdy is all the code is commented, because like I can't tell you how many times like I struggled in college working on a team with people and just saying, hey, could you please comment your code? Could you please comment your code? Could you please comment? And don't get me wrong, I am not perfect. Sometimes I forget to comment code, and then I come back to it like a month or two later, and I'm like, was this written by an alien? What exactly does this mean? But no. So I just, yeah, the fact that everything's commented, I'm just so happy about. And just being able to stretch myself as like a game designer, and all my programming muscles, because I since I have total and complete control over everything, like I'm able to implement some systems that that I'm able to make easily understandable, so that I can say, hey Max, because Max pretty much does the level design. And so I basically make assets that he can place in the world to really make the world feel right. But I add little sliders on there so that he can really fine tune it. And
it helps a lot.
And it's just so fun to like see like how he uses that and how he plays with that. And also like making better AI. That is something that I've always strived with. Like,
dude, you kill it with the AI, man. Like the tanks in our game, like I'm like afraid of them. They're like on it.
Thanks. Oh gosh, yeah, because that's something that I've been working on since literally I started game design in college. Was because AI is so different from like everything else that you program. Because everything else that you program in a game is pretty much a almost a one and done sort of deal, or it has a certain chain of events. But with AI, you have to have it responsive with a whole list of different things, and it's just it's a different dynamic. And by the way, Unreal blueprint and behavior trees and those make life so much easier. I couldn't even imagine like how much time it would take to try and make this game, strictly with hard coding. Yeah. Also, something that I've been meaning to do on every project before this game was utilizing interfaces and game modes. And I finally have been able to like utilize interfaces properly and actually started getting into game modes and some save modes. And oh my goodness, there's so much. They make life so much easier because you reduce the amount of pressure you're putting on the processor, and it's just really cool. I've really enjoyed growing in those areas. Not to say that it hasn't been a struggle though, because I can't tell you how many times I've ran into bugs like we were talking about the tank flipping off into eternity. And there was at one point in time where as soon as I implemented there being two different tanks, all of a sudden the AI was like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm just gonna leave and go do my own thing, man. And I can't say just how many bugs Indiana Jones would not like how many bugs are in this trap. But I'm working through them. I'm working some of them out. So
killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Well, and that's also one of the hard things. So like every other project I've worked on a team with another programmer. Like I've been able to bounce some ideas off of them, being like, hey, do you have any ideas on how to fix this code? And they'd be like, yeah, or dude, no, why would you think I would know that? So but yeah, that's one of the struggles is not having being able to bounce ideas off of other people. I do a big old shout out, by the way, to Professor Walter Woods from SCAD. Gave me what's called a programming duck. And so what you do with programming duck is if you're having trouble, you just talk to the duck. You talk it out, and you figure out by talking to your little programming duck what the problem is, because it's all logic based. So if you talk it out long enough, you'll be like, oh, I was just dumb and didn't think about this one thing. And yeah, like Max said, like time management. I literally have to. I've struggled with this for forever. There was a point in time where I actually had to schedule for me to go to sleep and like to like eat during college, because like I would be I'd look over at the time because I'd be working through, and it would be like 4 something in the morning, and I'd be like, oh, I have to go to work here in just a little bit. Or, oh man, it's like 8 o'clock. I guess I'm not eating breakfast this morning. So
I still feel like I'm on that schedule.
Right? Oh, the wonders of being an indie developer.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody who's like tuned in and is listening. We're really excited about the future of Tanx of the Phoenix, man. I mean, I think this is really going to be an awesome game. I mean, obviously, we're making it, so. But I think we got something going here, and I just wanted to take a second to say thank you for everybody who's supported us so far. I mean, this is, we started out as like a little nugget of an idea, and just turned into something crazier than anything I ever thought it was going to be. So I'm really happy with our progress and our journey so far, and I hope you guys continue to tag along for the ride.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all the likes and everything like that. I can't tell you how much it means to us whenever we post a video and you're like, dude, I like that. Like it really helps us out. So.
Oh yeah. And for any of our first time listeners, You can also, we're going to do a little plug in here. We have a Facebook page, an Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you type in Tanks of the Phoenix to any of them, we have a little tank logo with wings. I'm sure you could find it on any of those. So just like, subscribe, smash the bell, whatever that social media tells you to do to stay updated, because every week we're posting 2 to 3 times a week about just new content and the things that we're going through that week. So if you want more content, be sure to check those out.
And that's Tanx with an X.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Of the Phoenix. Hey, thanks y'all.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.